All right, folks, this is our last piece of convention coverage. This took place outside the convention. This is Michael Tracey doing some reporting for Glenn Greenwald's System Update show. He caught up with Rick Wilson of the Lincoln Project, and this interview got pretty hilariously cut short.
Rick Wilson, Lincoln Project. Okay, so Rick Wilson, Lincoln Project. First of all, have you ever seen a worse organized convention?
Oh, yeah,
logistically?
Actually, about 4 times before in my life.
Really?
Yeah. There were all RNC conventions where I used to be a Republican. The Houston convention, raging shit show. The San Diego convention, raging shit show. The New Orleans convention, drunken shit show. Those 3 stand out particularly. This is not disorganized by any sort of historic standard at all.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, sir.
Machines. This one is not extraordinary in any way in terms of good or bad. What I am seeing is it's stressed to the max by the fact that millions of people, well, hundreds of thousands of people, want to be in that room. This is a bigger line than I've ever seen at any other convention, Republican or Democrat, that I've been to. And I've been to conventions since I was 8 years old in 1972. So I've been around the block on these things a few times. I've worked conventions several times. I've been in the spin team on the Republican side in 2 Democratic conventions. So this is pretty well run, actually. And what they've accomplished so far, I think, is pretty extraordinary.
Well, we covered the RNC last month, and I'm
okay,
not.
So that while he was giving that answer, his assistant there must have been like Googling Michael Tracey or Googling System Update to like see who this was. And watch this.
I've been in the spin team on the Republican side in 2 Democratic conventions. So this is pretty well run, actually. And what they've accomplished so far, I think, is pretty extraordinary.
Well, we covered the RNC last month, and I'm not making any partisan point, but I don't think we ever waited more than like 4 minutes to get through one of the security checkpoints.
There weren't that many people interested in being there, then obviously. Yeah, we're done. We're done. We're not playing.
Playing this. No.
Look at this.
Whitney, I got this.
I was just making an innocuous observation. I wasn't.
Listen, Whitney, let's
say anything.
Whitney, let's go. Wait. No, Whitney, hold on. Yeah.
They must have realized, oh, Glenn Greenwald? Oh, no. No, so this is Glenn Greenwald's show? No, this got to go. They are such hacks. I mean, they are such hacks to the point where even when he says this is the most disorganized convention, this guy has to come back. Oh, no, the Republican conventions that I was a part of, they were disorganized, not this one. Like the level of intelligence of the average Lincoln Project supporter, they're just throwing red meat to them. It's like these Lincoln Project people are just such naked grifters that a part of me has to think that they want Trump to win, because if Trump wins, that's 4 more years of the easiest money they could make. And these neocon Bush Republicans, I mean, their politics is what makes money. Like, neoconservatism is all about getting paid. I mean, there's no real ideology underneath it. It's all about getting paid. The Iraq War, we're all going to get paid. Our friends are going to get paid. It's the whole thing. So, like, you have to wonder if they are trying to sabotage the Democrats. Like, you have to wonder where their heart really is. Do they really want to win this election? Because 4 more years of Trump is 4 more years of sweet payola. I mean, that is the easiest money in the world doing what they do.
Yeah, well, Glenn was talking about how I never followed it that closely because it was just such an obvious grift. It didn't interest me that much. But I do remember, and Glenn jogged my memory about how they raised all this money for a movie.
A documentary,
That
they never made.
Going to really spill the beans on Donald Trump. That's like when you raise money for a van and then you never buy the van. You're just like, what happened to the money? It is amazing that they're still around, because didn't they also have a sex scandal with one of their people?
One of the guys got ran out for something. Yeah. And then I think one of the guys quit or whatever. So I don't know who's still there, but it's Rick Wilson and I forget who else. You know, there are a couple members left, but man, that is a sweet gig. I mean, and it would be like the Bush Republicans who would figure out a way to get in on that. Hey, let's pivot to becoming libs for democracy's sake. And now we just toe the party line no matter what. The most innocuous question in the world. Hey, this convention seemed kind of disorganized. No, it wasn't. All right, well, then let me ask you a follow-up to that. And then she runs in. She just swoops in.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done.
Goodbye.
What the fuck did he say?
Why are you playing this?
I didn't say anything.
Whitney, I got this.
I got this.
There's look.
Whitney, let's go. Whitney, let's go.
Wow.
No, Whitney, hold on.
we know now, being in this space, it's not just being at a level where we could say, when people don't want to talk to us, the people that we're approaching, it's not because we don't have a big enough platform at this point. So there's a lot of cowardice about sitting down for interviews that are not going to be guaranteed back rubs all across the political spectrum.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Even before, the Cornell campaign imploded, we were in touch with his wife, man. It's not like that didn't get to the right people. He wouldn't come on.
Right.
Like this is very common. It seems, I mean, we're still kind of learning our way as interviewers and journalists. So we're learning as we go, and yeah, that's pretty common, man. That is pretty common, that if they are not going to get a back rub, they won't do it. They won't do it. Left, right, and center, man. They do not want to take challenging interviews in general. Now these guys,
or especially these guys, because they're just straight up liars. And like, if they realize, oh, this is Green, because they know who Greenwald is, because
they can't get exposed.
Yeah, because he's gone after them on the documentary Griff. Like, what if he asks us that? What if our supporters see that?
but just look, friend of show Jimmy Dore tweeted to us last night. Everyone's a neocon now. I don't think I'm spilling the beans, revealing that. He's pretty clear about his views. But yeah, if you listen to Kamala's speech as all this in an all this I did for thee spirit, I subjected myself to a second time today to prepare for the show, because sitting in a baseball diamond with protesters and a naked woman 5 feet away,
right?
If you watch the stream, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't really catch the speech the first time around. Yeah, man, there's really no daylight between that speech and Bush's compassionate conservatism. Right. Like, where's the distance? She's talking about having the world's most lethal military. She's talking about funding the police, empowering prosecutors. But school lunch. Where's the daylight? I mean, this sounds like Bush in 2000, basically. I mean, yeah. So of course the neocons all went in there. That speech was a neocon speech. It was a speech that a Bush Republican would give.
Please clap.